One day when I was grocery shopping and in those aisles full of plastic, I came across a bamboo toothbrush. We decided to conduct some research to try and understand why is it that consumers are not making better decisions. Quite interesting. So most people care about climate change, they care about the environment. But while 80% care about it, only 40% are doing something about it.
Welcome to this special podcast series on Impact Talk in collaboration with Advanced Media Trading, stories of UAEs Purpose-Driven Entrepreneurs. In this series, we explore the stories of 5 incredible women entrepreneurs who are creating a positive impact in the UAE. Today, I'm introducing Namrata Budhraja. She's the co-founder of Shift Eco, a platform for eco-friendly products helping consumers and organizations go green. Namrata, a warm welcome to Impact Talk. How are you today?
Good, I'm really good, Nadine. Thank you so much for having me here today, and thank you, Advanced Media, for this lovely series. I'm really excited to share my story, but also hear the stories of the other fantastic female founders who've done some great work in the impact space.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And it's going to be very, very inspiring stories, yours as well. So I really want to start, Namrata, with, before talking about Shift Eco, I want to learn more about your background, what you were doing before, and how you shifted into sustainability and finally starting this venture, Shift Eco.
Yeah, I love that you use the word shifted. That really sounds right. So I'll give you a quick background to myself. I have a background in HR. I was an HR professional. Prior to starting Shift Eco, I was heading a consulting team here in Dubai, doing a lot of work in Riyadh, a lot of work in Qatar. And during my time as a consultant, one of the last projects that I did was a sustainability education project. So we were doing the impact analysis of sustainability education for a nationwide program in Saudi Arabia. And it was really the highlight of my career. I really enjoyed the project. It was a 2-year-long project because it was nationwide. And it really made me feel like it was a sweet spot of, doing good business and making an impact. And I think for me, that's the time where I felt that I wanted to take a step back from consulting, because such projects that I did are very rare to come along in, an HR consulting career. And I wanted to take some time to figure what I wanted to do. And that's when Shift Eco happened.
So you took some time off, like a sabbatical?
So basically, I decided that I wanted to take some time off. So I just left my last job. Took some time to figure what I wanted to do next. And I think sometimes for that, it's just about re-energizing, thinking things through with a new perspective. And I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so entrepreneurship is really close to my heart. But I've never really, and I think for me, the main issue for starting a company was to come up with that idea. And in that, not sabbatical, it was just a couple of months actually, that aha moment happened where I saw a gap in the market, and that's how kind of Shift Eco came along.
You didn't start actually alone, this venture, Shift Eco. You have a co-founder.
Yes, that's
so.
correct.
How did you find each other? How did it start?
So first want to share how Shift Eco's idea came across. So one day when I was grocery shopping and in those aisles full of plastic, I came across a bamboo toothbrush, and something so simple, right? Looking at it, I was intrigued and I said, let me try a bamboo toothbrush. And the shift from a plastic toothbrush to a bamboo toothbrush was so easy. The efficacy of the cleaning, the quality of the brush, so simple. And yet, it led me to think, why are more people not talking about it? So Sukriti, my co-founder, she's actually my sister-in-law as well.
So she business.
Exactly. Shift Eco is a family business. And she was moving to Dubai in the next 7-8 months. And it kind of struck a conversation with her where I said, why do you think people are not making such changes? And Sukriti comes from a brand building FMCG background. And with my consulting background, we decided to conduct some research to try and understand why is it that consumers are not making better decisions. And some of the results were quite interesting. So most people care about climate change, they care about the environment. But while 80% care about it, only 40% are doing something about it. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to understand the deterrence a bit more. The follow-through of people from caring about the environment to actually being responsible consumers was not happening. I think there are a couple of reasons why that didn't happen. One is people don't know enough about sustainable products. There's so much greenwashing out there. They're skeptical about these products. They don't have enough information. They perceive the space as really daunting, scary. A lot of people talk about zero waste living, right? And consumers in today's day and age are more convenience led. So they said, we don't want to change our lifestyle around. This is not for us. And then a lot of people view sustainable living as expensive. In fact, during some of our interviews in our research phase, some people said, sustainable living is a rich man's problem. It's not for me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think a lot of these issues are down to knowledge, information, open sharing. And I think with that kind of an ethos, we launched Shift Eco. And for us, Shift Eco was not just a platform, another platform, e-commerce platform where you're just selling products. But at a very early stage, we really wanted to build this conscious community. So we wanted to connect with consumers, give them platforms to talk about key topics. Why is organic better? Is organic better if it's being flown from halfway across the world? So to actually question these fads that keep coming up so that they're making better informed decisions. And honestly, sustainable living is not more expensive. And I think for us, we balance, our products with making sure people are buying better, but buying lesser and making their products and their whatever they're purchasing last a longer time. So we really want to push that message through that it's very important for us as end consumers to make better decisions because we are driving demand for companies to actually produce these products. So there's a lot of onus on us as individuals, which I find is missing when you speak to people. Everyone thinks sustainability is the government's problem or company's problem, but I think it's a collective problem, which everyone has a role to play in.
Absolutely. And as you said, you're providing the solutions, products, alternatives.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're educating people to consume less.
Yeah.
So can you explain the mission of Shift Eco? What are you trying to achieve here?
That's a great question, Nadine. I think for us, we're trying to build a conscious community. A community that cares about the impact of their purchases on the environment. So tomorrow when I'm walking the mall and just mindlessly buying something, I actually think through what the impact of that would be. So I think from our side, we're making sustainable products accessible to people. We're trying to build information and knowledge amongst people to encourage them to make small sustainable changes in their lifestyle, and so that they're more mindful in the more longer term to do better for the environment in general.
Amazing. And you've been in business for a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken.
2.5 to 3 years, yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any lessons learned so far? What worked? What didn't work?
Yeah. It's a long journey. You really have to persevere. A lot of assumptions you have when you start a business don't translate the way you imagine it. So I think it's about being flexible, listening to the market, sort of pivoting when needed. So to give you an example, when we started Shift Eco, we were purely a consumer brand. So our aim was to work with end consumers. And the whole aim was that we wanted to connect with consumers in a more personal manner through education and through giving them this platform to make better choices. But as time went along, we very organically started hearing from companies saying, hey, you guys provide sustainable products. We want sustainable office supplies. Can you help us with that? So very organically, we realized that there's also a bigger piece, which is, working with businesses who have sustainability strategies, who have sustainability targets, who want better products in their offices. And very slowly we transitioned. This happened early 2022, where we launched Shift Eco for Business, where we formally said we work with companies now, helping them shift to sustainable practices. Same ethos, we provide them with sustainable office products, whether that's supplies that they use in your office, whether that's corporate gifting. But then again, most of these companies have great sustainable strategies, but how is that trickling down to employees? So looking at engagement programs, for employees to help them see how they can connect better with the topic of sustainability so that companies are truly building cultures of sustainability. So we really transitioned. So I think as an entrepreneur, what I'm trying to say is that things change, your perspective to how you start kind of can change. And I think that agility, that flexibility becomes very, very important. And I think for us, we really heard the need in the market and kind of moved accordingly.
That's amazing, because you're not only providing products to those organizations, you're as well working with, the staff and doing workshops, if I'm not mistaken, creating awareness on sustainability.
Yeah.
So how is it going? How do you see the engagement with a specific population, in organizations?
So I think this is the year of sustainability. There's so much momentum right now. You see a lot of, push from companies. Everyone wants to do something. In the lead up to COP, you see companies wanting to engage employees, want to do training programs. So there's a lot of, focus on sustainability initiatives, whether that's product or whether that's engagement. I think the idea is to keep that momentum alive, and it'll be interesting to see how this translates next year when, it's another year and there's no COP to look forward to in the UAE. So there's a lot of engagement and enthusiasm currently, and it's very heartening to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing for a business like Shift. So you're not anymore working with direct consumers, you're completely focusing on businesses.
We're a hybrid company, Nadine. So for us, we of course do end up working with consumers, but we're doing that through our online store. As well as, I think for us, growth is all about strategic partnerships. We take SDG 17 very seriously. So we're working with InstaShop, we're working with Etihad Green Rewards, and that's how we're working with our end consumers. And then we're basically doing both. We're a B2B and a B2C company.
Okay. And how is the community is growing, I guess?
Yeah.
How people react now to your products compared to when you started?
For us, what we've seen is in the last 2.5 years, we have these loyal customers that always come back every couple of months to shop at our store. I think now the awareness is really building, so people react better. But I think there's still a lot to do with the education and awareness. To give you a small example, a couple of days ago, I was doing a session for school here in Dubai, and I showed them a picture of a bamboo toothbrush, and everyone looked at it and said, "What? What's that?" So I was a bit taken aback, because for me, I thought it's normal for people to now start seeing sustainable products, even in mainstream, grocery stores. But there still seems to be more education required, more awareness about these alternatives and substitutes for regular products.
That's very interesting, because businesses like yourself, they spend a lot of energy and they have to do it in awareness.
Yes.
In education awareness. So how much of your time actually do you dedicate to awareness?
I would say at least 40 to 50%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. We're in the business of behavior change. So if you can't be a pure product company when you are in the business of behavior change. Behavior change takes effort, takes energy, takes connection. And awareness becomes a very, very big aspect of it. And for us, very early on, we'd run something called Learn with Shift Eco. So we do a lot of collaborations with sustainability professionals so that we build platforms where people can actually talk about key sustainability topics. And the traction on these platforms has been quite interesting, and it really has kept the momentum alive.
Yeah, I saw some of the talks you organize as well, online webinars.
Yes.
So
we do
amazing work.
We do a lot of work in both spaces because from a company perspective, there are a lot of companies now who are looking at starting their sustainability journey. So we run series like Business Sustainability Talks, where we work with sustainability leaders and try and build a platform where they share their advice, their quick wins, and how companies that are looking at, sort of getting started or want inspiration in their sustainability journey, they can actually ask open questions. So we do some online sessions, we do some face-to-face, and the idea is to build these open platforms for collaboration and, conversation.
As you said, SDG 70 is extremely important in the sustainability ecosystem.
Absolutely. I think it's very important that, all sustainability professionals or businesses kind of try and work together for the larger good.
Yeah, I totally agree. How do you envision the future for your business?
Now climate change has become, now with all the heat waves, people finally understand that it's real. I think there was a time when people were like, oh, that this is just like people are talking about it, doesn't exist. I feel like people don't connect with it until it doesn't impact their lifestyle in a very real manner. They don't take it seriously. So now you can see that people can connect with it. So you hear people talking about it a lot more. So just sustainability more broadly is going to take off in a really large way. And I feel the next couple of years for Shift Eco, and not just Shift Eco, for any impact business, is very exciting because that shift of mindset, that shift in priority is coming. Even for companies now, they can't just think of profit, they have to think about the planet, and that balance is sort of becoming quite essential and also mandated. So I think the next couple of years are going to be really exciting, and it's going to be interesting to see how people are finally going to change and modify their behavior in a meaningful manner.
Exciting times ahead of us.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just said, balancing purpose and profits.
Yeah.
And I think that's what any business, is striving actually to do.
Yeah.
Any purpose-driven business.
Yeah.
So how challenging is it for you at Shift Eco to balance purpose and profit?
So I think for us, the core of the business is purpose, right? So it becomes a bit easier. I think the challenge here is more about adoption, getting more people to adopt, right? So the main thing we struggle with is the scalability of it and getting people to adopt. Whereas the core of the business is already, it has purpose, it has impact. It's more about getting the profit and the feasibility of the business. So getting a lot of scale now with Shift Eco for Business, a lot more companies signing on and doing work with us. We slowly see ourselves growing in the region. So going to Saudi Arabia, a lot of work in Oman. We've started having some really exciting conversations there. So I think for us, the thing is about reaching more people, building more change agents, as we call them, and kind of amplifying the impact of it more.
Would you say that now the discussions with businesses are easier than a couple of years ago? Because at the end of the day, as you said, you want to sustain your business.
Yeah.
While, being purpose-driven and making an impact.
Yeah.
So is it would you say that it's easier now or still difficult conversations?
I think it's easier now. And I think there are two reasons for this. One, it's become a priority for companies. And I think two, the longer you're in the business, you build credibility, you know, people have heard of you. Otherwise, as a young company, for you to approach a larger organization, they don't know who you are. They've never heard of you. Your client, they ask you for a client list. And if you don't have one, then it becomes a bit challenging. But now that we've been in business for 2.5 years, we've been blessed with a good client list. We can give references for clients as well. So it's a bit easier having these conversations than it was a couple of years ago.
Amazing. So the name of the podcast is Impact Talk.
Yeah.
So if you could give one piece of advice to inspire people to make a difference, what would it be?
It'll be one piece of advice, but it'll be broad. Say is that making an impact is everybody's responsibilities, including every individual consumers. So we say at Shift Eco, make small shifts in your daily lifestyle, sustain them, and they have a big impact. So if you are someone who, say, uses a plastic bottle, make a small change of not using a plastic bottle and carrying a reusable bottle. Make that into a habit, and then slowly start including one more additional thing every month or whenever that habit becomes more permanent for you. The reason why I say this is that you don't have to change your whole life around. Make it bite-sized, make it work for you, but make sure you're playing your role in making an impact.
Start small.
Yeah, start small. Yeah,
absolutely. Because this series is all about purpose-driven entrepreneurs, I really want to ask you, what have you let go of to follow your purpose?
I've let go of a stable job. I know a lot of people don't talk about it, but yeah.
I think it's important.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think as an entrepreneur, and especially in a space, when you're trying to establish something completely new, it's more challenging. So entrepreneurship is glamorized, and it is glamorous, but it's also a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And it's about waking up motivated every day. So to follow my purpose, I've chosen a harder path. And it's definitely rewarding, and it has its amazing moments. But it also means I have to be, more resilient, stronger, and, sort of more motivated in that sense.
And your story is very inspiring, I'm sure, for all the people listening to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming, on Impact Talk and sharing, Shift Eco story.
Thank you so much, Nadine. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to Advanced Media for hosting us on their showroom for this special series. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. Let's spread the word about UAE's Purpose-Driven Entrepreneurs. And stay tuned for our next episode on Impact Talk.